What is up, everybody? We got some news to talk about today. 49ers keep on stacking those draft picks, and the 49ers keep losing personnel. But we're going to talk all about it. What a just another monumental day. The Niners are always in the spotlight, and I love it. We're going to talk about it. Let's drop the intro real quick. What's up, everybody? We're here. We're live. Let's talk about it. So today, the 49ers. What's up? What's up, Wolfgang? What's up, Steve-O? Wipe your feet at the door. Hit that like button. What's up, Irvin? Steve-O, what's good? It's your boy from Canada. Of course, I know you, my boy, Steven. Debbie says, is it game time yet? I wish it was. We can't wait. It's Dallas week, and we all are hyped up. You know how it goes. Aloha from Hawaii. Let's go, Labby. Hunter Peace. What's up? Hunter Pierce, sorry. What up, IG Legendary Answers, my man? What's good, everybody? What's good from the DMV? What's up, everybody? Hurricane 774 checking in. Everybody, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't, and tell all your friends and all your homies. My boy Raj is on RSF 49ers on YouTube. Let them know. Today we got some news. Ran Carthon, 49ers player of personnel, professional personnel, was selected as the GM of the Tennessee Titans. Now, what does that mean? That means we lose an executive, right? So he's been with the 49ers front office since 2017. He moved to the director of player personnel, right, 2 seasons ago. It's a big move for him. I mean, he worked his way up the ladder. He was a former NFL running back, and the Niners had him, and he went up the executive route up the ladder, and he took a job as a GM. So good for him. He's going to get some bigger money and bigger shoes to fill and a lot of bigger role. And the Titans, they've been kind of down bad. Their GM last year helped them trade A.J. Brown. That was kind of bad. So now they're getting a guy from the 49ers front office, which is pretty damn good. Look at what the 49ers have done. They've cultivated this great roster that's a winning culture. So, of course, everybody wants a piece of the 49ers. And why not take one of their executives? And the good news is the 49ers didn't lose Adam Peters. It sucks that we lose Carthon because he's a really good executive. 49ers always bring in good people. So now they're going to have to reshuffle and promote someone to Carthon's position within the company or maybe somewhere else. Who knows? But that opens up a spot in their front office. Their front office is amazing, but they'll continue to roll. Adam Peters turned down the interview with the Titans, and he turned down the interview with the Cardinals. Seems like he's happy in the Bay. His family's from Cupertino, so I mean he's got it made. Adam Peters is good to go. He's our draft guy, so we didn't lose that guy, and I'm happy about it. But Ran Carthon goes to the Titans. And the good news about this, I mean, you don't want to lose people on your staff, but the good news is his move to the GM will land the 49ers some compensatory picks, right, because of the Rooney Rule. So basically, the 49ers are going to get a third-round pick this year and a third-round pick last year. Now, to put it into perspective, the 49ers have 8 compensatory picks from minority hires. That just shows you how diverse this team is. It's not just they bring in great players, they bring in great executives. They're bringing in minorities, man. This is a phenomenal culture. They're bringing in people of all walks of life, man. And that's a testament to this front office. Look, they're hiring everybody. It's equal opportunity employer, and they benefit from it. If they hire these guys and they develop them as executives, they're not just developing players, they're developing executives, man. It's crazy. So we get 2 third-rounders, one this year, one next year, and that just brings us into this position where we can trade picks. We can trade for players like Christian McCaffrey. Not everybody, a lot of analysts, a lot of experts said, the trade was stupid. Remember, ESPN gave it a C-. Dumb trade. The Niners traded too much. They traded too much. We get a lot of those picks back, man. We get a lot of those picks back. The 49ers have 11 draft picks. You can't start every pick in the draft, 11 players. At some point, yeah, you're going to have to cut some people, put them on the practice squad. But the Niners develop these players. Look at their roster. It's a homegrown roster. They got a farm system. They get players from the draft, undrafted, whatever, and they just develop them and they rotate. And players go and then they let the next man up. That is phenomenal. They went and got CMC and they changed the season around with this guy. He's been the most amazing midseason trade of all time, like arguably. And that's because they have all these compensatory picks and they know they're going to develop coaches. They're going to develop players. People will leave, but they'll get people right back, coaches and players, not just the players. 8 compensatory picks from the executives and coaches. This is crazy. So, they got this is the 4th person that got hired away from the San Francisco 49ers, and they get compensatory picks. So we had Robert Salah, Mike McDaniel, right? They got head coaching jobs. Last year, they got Martin Mayhew. You guys might have forgot. Martin Mayhew, he was hired out of a VP of player personnel role to be the Washington GM. So last year, Washington took one of our VPs of player personnel and made him their GM. People forgot. He was actually a GM now with the Washington. So we got a compensatory pick for that. And now we lose Ran Carthon, and we're going to get 2 compensatory picks for that. So 49ers develop these executives, and they keep stacking picks. It's incredible. Incredible, man. How Not To says, a Titan fan here. Thank you. We needed someone who knows how to scout talent. 100%. If you get someone for the 49ers, you're going to get someone that's going to be able to scout talent and, cultivate that culture and be able to, build a winning team. This is what the 49ers have done. In 2017, John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan took over, and they were nothing. This team was so bad. The roster was just garbage. I hate to say it, but they were. Lewis Murphy was your wide receiver 1. Their best player was probably Carlos Hyde. No disrespect to Carlos Hyde. But he was like their best player. It was bad. Bad roster. And they brought in people. They got in free agents. They started making the draft moves and stuff. It wasn't perfect. They had some mistakes. They had some growing pains, but they learned and they developed a great roster. They scouted well. Look at their team now. Every time they draft, it's pretty much a hit, these late round picks. Look at Talanoa Hufanga, Dre Greenlaw, George Kittle. These are all late round guys. Fred Warner was a 3rd round pick. It's crazy, man. They draft well. Brock Purdy's the last pick in the draft. He's the best quarterback in the league right now. Just, he's on a hot streak. So it's crazy, man. The 49ers developed some great talent, and they developed great coaches and executives. So you lost a guy. We're getting draft picks, and the cycle continues, man. The cycle continues. Shout out to the Niners for continuing to develop players and executives and coaches, man. It's crazy. How to Know says, a lot of people don't know, but J-Rob told a reporter, I'm the only analyst team. So ever since people were done with his draft pick, that's crazy, man. Scouting and analysts teams are 100%. You have to be able to scout talent. You can't just go out there and draft whoever. Look at the Niners. And I'm a Niner fan of, obviously, so I'm going to use them as an example. Look at the people that they draft, man. And it's because they're able to scout. They go out there on the Senior Bowl and they really cultivate, okay, who do we want? Who's going to fit on this role? Because when the Niners were first drafting, it wasn't perfect. They did have a lot of misses. Solomon Thomas, Reuben Foster. They missed on some guys. There was a lot of red flags on certain players, or just guys that just didn't fit their scheme. But you get better and you get these scouts, and that's what they did. They brought in people like Ran Carthon and Martin Mayhew and Adam Peters, and they showed them how to scout. And that's how they built their roster, is through the scouting process, through the draft. Because not everybody can go and sign every Tom, Dick, and Harry like the Rams. And if you do go sign every player, every big name player, eventually salary cap's going to hit you. Players retire. And it just falls apart. You can't sign every big name player. And the 49ers have built their roster from the ground up, man. From the ground up. Look at this talent. It's all young talent with a lot of veterans that they developed. Like George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, Nick Bosa. These are all guys that they drove through the draft, man, that they built through the draft. Elijah Mitchell, and they're big-time players for this team. Of course, there's a few players that they didn't, draft or whatever. CMC, that was a money move trade. Trent Williams, a money move trade. There was a big executive moves, right? Joe Staley, Staley was retiring. They had to make a move, so they got in Trent Williams, right, to replace Staley. So that was a money move. CMC comes in, boom. Everybody was like, oh, my God. They got all these draft picks from – but the 49ers get them all back, basically. They got 11 draft picks in this draft this year, at least 11. Now, if DeMeco Ryans becomes a head coach, They're going to get more draft picks for D'Amico Ryans. That's crazy to me. That's crazy to me. Now they got firepower to move and wheel and deal in the draft. 11 draft picks? I don't think all 11 of them play. Like, imagine you have 11 draft picks. I can't expect every single one to make this roster. This roster is very talented, but there's going to be a lot of players that leave in free agency. So maybe they are going to get a lot of players to replace some of the veterans. But you can't just start a rookie. So then some of the guys that are kind of have been on the roster for the last 2 years that haven't started, they'll get their chance to start. So that's just 49ers roster, man. It's amazing. And, it's just how they do it. Amazing, man. Niner Gang Wolfcast says, Greenlaw being a 5th rounder, ranked higher than Fred Warner on PFF and getting him out of steal contractually. It's crazy how this front office operates. Like, can you imagine? Dre Greenlaw was a 5th round pick. Nobody thought he was going to be much because they had Quan Alexander. Quan gets hurt. And Dre Greenlaw immediately showed he was, like, better. Like, far and away, he was just better than Quan. And then he became the savior, the hero. He was the hero in 2019, right, in that Seattle game, right, the goal line stand. And then he battled some injuries, but this year he's been healthy, and he showed how good he's been. He's been so aggressive, and he's been probably our best linebacker. No disrespect to Fred. Fred's been phenomenal, but Greenlaw has arguably been better than Fred Warner. And he was a 5th round pick. And the draft and the contract they gave him, second week of the season after Seattle, a steal. They locked him up for 2 more years on an extension, and it was a damn steal of a contract. If they would have had to pay him after the season, it would have been a lot more money. And they knew it. They were like, we better lock him up now. Lock him up now. Because if they would have had to pay him after the season he just had, holy crap, he would have got paid a lot more. A lot more. Crazy, man. You're absolutely right, Wolfgang. Amazing how they did that. But that's his front office, man. They put players at priorities. They know how to forecast things. They know how to look through the future. And they know how to scout that talent, man. Unbelievable, man. Beast Mode says, Cowgirl fans are talking. Oh, my God. The Cowgirl fans are going crazy. 100% life-saving moves. Cowgirls fans are. Did you guys see? Obviously, you did. I posted it last night. NFL on CBS posted the video. We reposted it. Cowboy fans, it was so cringe. They're sitting there after the game in the stadium. They're on the road in the Buck Stadium, and they're like, we want Niners. That's so extra, Russell, right? So we want Niners. The most cringe thing. They don't want that. They're screwed. And some of them, it sounded like they were like forced to say it. Some of them were looking around like, oh, Johnny, don't say that. Johnny, don't say that, because this has all the makings of the ultimate meme, and I cannot wait. It has all the makings of the ultimate receipt. Your boy is saving this one. Saving this one in the vault. If the Niners beat the Cowboys, oh, I'm having a field day with this meme. Be careful what you wish for. Woo! Israel, Mikey, what's up, man? Oh, my God. Can you imagine that? Can you be careful what you wish for? Ramon Garcia says a Cowboy called Debo. I think it was his friend, somebody that knows it. Nobody just casually FaceTimes Debo, but the fans behind him were like, oh, watch out for Trayvon Diggs. Like it's a threat. Trayvon Diggs? Come on. Yeah, I saw that. A Cowboy fan called Debo. That was funny. But I think it was somebody that he knows. I mean, if you saw his wrist, he had an icy watch on. So it's somebody that probably has some money, and his seats were pretty damn good. So it's probably someone that Debo knows. My favorite part of that video, Debo's just like, okay, you done? Because Debo knows he's going to let his game do the talking for him. He's going to let his game do the talking for him. Debo don't talk. Debo is smart. He's like, okay, you guys can talk. Flap your gums. You can talk. All you want. He's not budging. Debo's not going to say nothing to say because he's smart. He's smart because he knows if he says something, it's a bulletin board material. You can't say nothing because look what happened with Micah Parsons last year. Remember Micah Parsons last year? This man, we the bullies from Harrisburg. Bully. He's talking about how he's a bully, right? How about he got bullied by Brandon Ayuk, a wide receiver? How about he got bullied by Debo? Remember the stiff arm and he dropped him on the ground? Parsons opened his mouth. And last night he's already talked. An hour after the game, he's tweeting, 1-0, I'm hungry. We got to stop talking or something. What was his tweet? This guy he literally said, don't talk, but he's the one talking. An hour after the game. literally an hour. He's already tweeting. I'm like, bro, chill out. Chill out. Let's see. What do you say? I know I think I quote tweeted. I think I dunked on him. Yeah. He says, my turn. Tired of talking. See y'all Sunday. 1-0 with the picture of a lion. Like, come on, man. You just finished the game. Don't stay off Twitter. He just likes to talk. I want him to keep talking. I want him to keep talking because eventually he's gonna put bulletin board material. And then you got good old Skip Bayless. Good old Skip Bayless. This man, he's tweeting. He's digging his grave because he's also giving me he's giving everybody content. He said, what did he say? He says, as great as Christian McCaffrey has been, I'll still take Tony Pollard, just a little bit more explosive. Guess who was the best running back in Wild Card Weekend? Christian McCaffrey. He had over 130 yards receiving, or total yards to scrimmage. Tony Pollard had like 70 yards rushing yesterday. So yeah, Christian McCaffrey was the number one running back in the playoffs. He had 89 yards after contact. Tony Pollard had 70 total yards. Christian McCaffrey had more yards after contact than Tony Pollard had in general. Yeah, go smoke on that, Skip Bayless. And then what else did he say? He says Dak Prescott's going to outperform Brock Purdy. It's really not a bold take. Dak Prescott he's a higher draft pick. He's supposed to be this MVP candidate. He got paid $162 million. I hope he should outperform Brock Purdy, the last pick in the draft. But Brock, this is what's crazy to me. Dak Prescott led the entire NFL. He led the entire NFL in interceptions, and he didn't play a full season. He did not play a full season. He missed, 5 games? Dak Prescott missed 5 games, and he led the NFL in interceptions. That's crazy to me. Crazy to me. I can't wait. Israel, Brock for sure going to have a big game. I can't wait. They just like to talk, and I cannot wait for Brock to go crazy, and we're going to dunk on Skip next week. We're going to post I'm staying humble, but after the game, 49ers win, we going crazy. We going brazy, baby. We going crazy. I can't wait. Sacktown says Dak is getting paid over $70 million. He better be playing better than Purdy. So I'm saying, like, what a silly comment. But Dak Prescott leads the NFL interceptions, and he's missed 5 games. Love it. I love it. Mariah, what's good? What's up, everybody in the chat? What is up? Jimmy Robinson, says, this Niners team is way better than the one that beat them last year. I agree, because this year we have CMC. I feel like this team is just overall better. The offensive line is clicking. Defense is amazing. Last year, let's talk about last year's game. It was kind of a heart attack, right? The turnover gave the Dallas Cowboys like a minute or something left. A minute and change left. They drove down the field. Dak Prescott runs the ball. They forget to spike it. The time runs out. It's kind of a heart attack moment. But, for the most part, the Niners defense were able to stifle them. They didn't get to score much. I think they scored, 17 points that game. But it came down to the end where Dak Prescott makes a bad decision at the end. But this defense is even better. And you got to remember, Nick Bosa was hurt through that game. I think he left because he had like concussion syndrome. I think Fred Warner got hurt in that game. So we had two very important players that got, taken out of that game. Nick Bosa, Fred Warner. And they're healthy this year, and we still beat them. Last year. And again, this team's a lot different than they were last year. You got Greenlaw. We talked about Greenlaw like healthy and ready to roll. I just feel like this team is special. And again, CMC, George Kittle's unlocked now with Brock Purdy. And let's talk about this. Brock Purdy has been pretty damn good so far. Again, it's the second year. I saw someone in the comments says, what do you think about Brock Purdy not playing a defense like the Cowboys? Listen, man, I feel like everybody is on their jock because they played Tampa Bay. And Tampa Bay, they're just not a good team, man. And it made Dallas look phenomenal. I mean, they're a good team. They got a good defense. I'm not going to lie to you. Trevon Diggs, he's boomer bust. Parsons, I'm going to give him his respect. He is a good player. He just talks too much. They got some really good players. But Brock Purdy he's been going crazy, man. Oh, you already know all the stats. The thing about Tampa Bay, people forget the Niners crushed Tampa Bay. They had them shut out at halftime. They were crushing them at halftime. People forget. They got a memory of a goldfish. They forgot how bad the Niners just put a beat down. on the Buccaneers. Like, I'm going to be honest with you. People forgot. Yes, Dallas did it, but so did the 49ers. It's recency bias. People are, Dallas, hey, what a magical performance. 49ers did that a few weeks ago. Get on our level. But I'm not worried about Brock. You watch him. He's just so poised, man. He doesn't let the pressure get to him. It's just another game for him. I get it. Dallas is a good defense, but it's just another test. And every single week, Brock Purdy is passing these tests with flying colors. With flying colors. Israel says, I think they're gonna try to do too much first half when we're gonna take them over. Dak's gonna fumble, throw it. That's the thing. I feel, and I said this last night, they're gonna be too aggressive. They're gonna be too aggressive because they're gonna play with revenge. They're gonna be beating their chest like King Kong. Like, I honestly am so happy Dak Prescott did great last night. I'm happy he had a good day. You know why? Because he's gonna come in on Sunday, chest puffed out. He's gonna think he's a big bad wolf. He's gonna, I'm Dak Prescott. Did you see me last week? And he's gonna be so hyped up. He's gonna be so good. 49er defense is gonna crush. They're gonna come after his mouth. They're gonna hit him in the mouth. They're gonna hit him in the mouth, and he's gonna make some turnovers because he didn't face a defense like the 49ers. That's the thing. What's up, 49ers throwback? Everybody's talking about Brock Purdy not playing a defense like the Cowboys, right? Everybody, like you guys said, what do you think about Brock Purdy playing a defense like the Cowboys? What about Dak Prescott playing a defense like the 49ers? What about Dak Prescott playing a defense like the San Francisco 49ers? Put that in your pipe and smoke it. What's up, Marnisha? How we doing? Ramon says, let me see this comment. This is a long comment. Brock faced the top 4 defense in the Commanders and still did good. And look at the Raiders. Very good point. They did play a really good defense. The Commanders were a top 4 defense. I think people forget about that. Very great defense, and the 49ers did well. And Brock Purdy had a great game that day. Raiders, they played tough. This is the thing. Raiders, they lost a lot of close games, but they were a better team than people give them credit for. They actually really were a better team than people give them credit for. And Brock played tough, man. He showed his toughness through that game, and he had some mistakes early on, but he bounced back. Now the other thing to this is Brock has played in some tough situations. Remember against the Seahawks, he played with the rib injury, the oblique injury. He's played with bad ribs. That's tough, man. Going against any team, he played through adversity. He played through injury. He's tough, man. And I'm not worried about Brock going out there against Dallas. I really am not, because it's Dak that has to play the 49ers defense. This is the number 1 defense in the NFL, and Dak Prescott has to play it. Let's go. That's it, baby. Oscar says Dallas all of a sudden saying home field advantage, it doesn't matter. No, they're gonna be singing a different tune after this Sunday. Home field advantage absolutely matters. Jedi says, let's talk about the day Dallas kicker had. The guy was on suicide watch. Yo, that kicker, was it Mahar? Is his name Mahar? 4 extra point misses. Not 1, not 2, not even 3. 4 missed extra points. 4 of them. If they do that against the Niners, you bet your bottom dollar they're losing. Against Tampa Bay just doesn't have a good team to do anything. 4 extra points. And in a game like the 49ers, a good team, a great team, you're losing. You miss 4 extra points? That's crazy. Russell says, how is he not cut? I don't know. Mariah says, that shit was crazy. That shit was crazy. That shit was crazy to me. Crazy. Took the words out of my mouth, Mariah. Shit was crazy. Pardon my language, but I didn't. That's 100%. 4 extra points. Ramon says, I'm surprised they haven't signed another kicker or released. I would have cut his ass last night. Shit, he would have been cut after the second miss, in my opinion, if it's me. But hey, that's just me. And then Dak, he was supporting his guy. Oh, don't worry. I know he's going to bounce back next week, and he's going to make the kick that helps us win the game. He said something like that, to that extent. Let me get the exact quote, but he was confident. He's confident much. Let me see. Let me see what he said. Dak. See what he says. He says he sticks at. He goes, "I'm Money Mar's biggest fan. I just played like shit a week ago." So he's basically saying, he'll bounce back. He goes, "Last week I was not playing too good, and look at me this week." So he's trying to like vouch for him, but kicker has one job. I hope they keep him. I hope they keep him, and I hope he misses more extra points. Keep him, keep him, keep him, Dallas, keep him, keep him, keep him. Oh my God! Let's see.
Mar's biggest fan. Yeah, I mean, I talked to him individually. Told him after the game, "Hey, let that go. We're gonna need it." I just played like a week ago, so I mean, that happens. Knowing what that guy's done, what resiliency he's shown throughout his career, personally, no doubt that he'll come back next week and be perfect and help us win.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
keep him on the roster. I hope he makes a massive blunder next week. That's all I got to say about that. 4 extra point misses. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Crazy. 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 Russell says, "I would have left his ass in Tampa." He could have stayed the night at C-Max. It's funny. Oh, man. Shades says, this is a good point. This is a good comment. "The reason we can't lose will be the 2.5-day difference of rest, plus the 4th straight game for the Cowgirls. The Cowgirls have played 4 straight games. They don't get the extra day of rest. Actually, they get it 1 day less. They played Monday, and they got to make the short trip. One less day of rest into the playoffs. And then the 49ers, we had like basically extra 2 days off. We didn't play Sunday. Monday we're chilling. Today the players are off. They come back to practice tomorrow. They've had a lot of time to kind of recuperate, after a tough season. And they're healthy. They're fully healthy. So 100%. This is a reason the 49ers should be primed. They should be ready. They should be juiced. And everything should be in their favor. Home field advantage. I just think everything's kind of moving their way. So they shouldn't lose because they have all the advantages, right? Now, if the 49ers were to lose, we're going to be pissed because they have all these advantages. So Dallas is beaten up. They've lost a few players here and there. No excuses. But the Cowboys definitely are not as healthy coming into this game as the 49ers. The 49ers are very healthy, and that's dangerous for the league. Dangerous for the league. Raj says 9 straight games winning the turnover battle. The Ravens have the record at 11 and got the chip. We're going for 12 in the chip, Raj. You know what? You're right, man. And I've said it so many times this season. You win the turnover battles, you win football games. If you make other teams make mistakes and you capitalize it and you score on those mistakes, you're going to win the game 9 times out of 10. The Niners, ever since they've kind of revamped this offense, CMC and Brock Purdy, they get turnovers and they score. In the past, they'd get turnovers and they didn't score, or they'd get a field goal. They're turning those field goals into touchdowns. They're turning those turnovers into touchdowns. They're turning water into wine, baby. That's what they're doing. They're turning water into wine, and you have to do that to win football games. You have to win the turnover battle. And the 49ers are doing an excellent comment. That is amazing. 9 straight games they've won the turnover battle. We got 3 more games, ladies and gentlemen. And if the 49ers win the turnover battle on every single one of those, that's the record in the NFL, and that's the championship. Let's fucking go. What a stat, my boy. Raj coming through with the fire. Of course he is, because his name's Raj. Gotta love it, baby. Oh, look at this. I hope Kittle pancakes Micah Parsons so he can STF you. Kittle pancake on Parsons would be fun. That would be for the culture. That would be absolutely legendary. That would be one of the best moments of the year. Oh, God. Can we get a Kittle pancake on Parsons? Let's manifest it. I want it. I love it. I love this comment. We need a Kittle pancake on Parsons. Woo! I want it. I want it bad. Let's go. Randy says Dallas is going to get jet lagged. They might. They might. Kittle will try. Oh, 100%. Kittle, he's going to be blocking it up. He's going to be pancaking it up. I'm ready for some Kittle pancakes on Parsons. Ooh, they're gonna taste extra good with the little syrup on it. Israel says, Micah just needs to be humble. I'll respect him more. That's why Bosa's going to show his ass who the real defensive player of the year is. It's the showdown, right? The top two candidates for defensive player of the year, pretty much. People have been arguing about it all year. Richard Sherman and Akko, all year they've been arguing it. And it all comes down to this. And, obviously, I'm sure people already know who they're going to vote for. But this is a big game, for both of these guys. Defensive player of the year candidates. They're both going to want to show out. And I agree with this. Parsons just needs to humble. I know he's young and he wants to talk, but in a couple of years when he's a veteran, he's going to look back at his young self. If he matures, he's going to look back and he's like, I was dumb. I was poking the bear. I was pissing these guys out. He just needs to shut his mouth. He talks too much. At the end of the day, he just gives people too much fire. But I hope he continues because that's just going to piss the Niners off. You're going to piss Debo off. You're going to piss Bosa off. Those are the wrong people. You do not want to piss these guys off. They don't need motivation, but you give them extra motivation, that's just dumb. Just dumb. Ramon says, I feel like Jawan Jennings will be an X factor. Cowboys won't see it coming. 100-yard game, I would like to see it. Jawan Jennings last year was kind of an X factor. He made some big plays. He got the big, that big push on Trayvon. Like, he was bullying him. He got under their skin. He was definitely an underrated player. Maybe he steps up out of the shadows and has a big game. But I just like Jawan being there for his physicality, and he's going to rough him up. But I think Ayuk's going to have a big game. Brandon Ayuk and Trayvon Diggs. We remember what happened last year. This man, Ayuk, put that boy on skates. He had him on thin ice, skating around him. Woo! He had him skating, boy. Brandon Ayuk had Trayvon Diggs skating. And I absolutely loved it. And I think this year, because Brandon Ayuk's even better this year, you got a quarterback that can find him on those routes. It's going to be dangerous. I think Brandon Ayuk is going to go hog wild on Sunday, and he's got to make up for that touchdown he missed. I think Brandon Ayuk is going to have a nice little game. And we all know there's going to be a lot of – so it's two receivers from the draft class together, CeeDee Lamb and Brandon Ayuk. I can't wait. These two guys are going to go out there and play their best. A lot of people argue CeeDee Lamb's better than Ayuk. Ayuk, man, he just finally hit his 1,000 yards this year, and I think he's going to go out there, big stage, for the world to see, playoff football. He's going to go out there and show he's the man. He's the guy. I think Brandon Ayuk's going to have a great day on Sunday. Am I going to the game Sunday? Giselle wants to know. Not sure yet. I'm still debating. I want to go. Tickets are a little expensive. If it was just me, I'd go. But I got to bring my daughter this week, and it's a little pricey to take 2 tickets. So I might wait. I'm gonna see how the week goes. We'll see. I mean, I definitely want to go, but I'm waiting it out because I want to go to a couple other games, right? I want to go to maybe the NFC Championship game and maybe the Super Bowl, but I don't know if I can go to all the games. It's a little pricey, so we'll see. I definitely want to go, though. The nosebleed tickets for this game are starting at $400. Yeah, exactly. $400 for the nosebleeds? Woo! Expensive. Although I did go to Dallas last year, and I stayed. There were decent seats. I flew there, had to pay for all that room and board. It was expensive last year to go to Dallas and watch the Cowboys, but it was watch the Niners beat the Cowboys. Definitely worth it. So, yeah, my boy says he paid $900 for 2 nosebleeds last year. Yeah, I paid quite a pretty penny for some. They were like mid-level seats, and the flight and the hotel. It was pretty expensive to go to AT&T Stadium, but it was definitely worth it. So we'll see. $500 for the red zone. That's a pretty good ticket, man. That's not bad. That's pretty good. I don't know. Amateur Draft Scout, what's good, my boy? How are we doing? We'll see. I got to look for some deals this week. See if anybody has any, maybe they got some hookups for you, boy. We'll see. Drake Jackson playoff debut? I hope so. This guy's been, inactive for the last couple weeks because they've needed interior linemen. I hope they let Drake Jackson play. I feel like he's itching. He'll get there eventually. He's going to be a star on this team eventually. That's what they do. They develop players. I would love to see him play in the playoffs, ZP says, do I think Brock or Trey starting next season? I don't even want to talk about offseason, man. We got to focus on this game. This is crazy. But if Brock Purdy goes and wins the Super Bowl, you can't deny him. He's going to be your starter. And, Trey's going to be coming off an injury. But there's so much to even, like, go into this. There's so many, like, intangibles. I don't even want to talk about it. But I do think right now the early favorite to be your starting quarterback for the 49ers next year is Brock Purdy. If he keeps this magical run, it's going to be hard not to start him. But we'll see, man. Offseason is going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. Brandon broke his ankles. Yeah, he did last year against Trayvon. Jennings, our third down hero. He really is. Let's see. We can't have the Cowgirls take over our stadium 100%. Cowgirl fans, they travel well. There's going to be quite a few Dallas fans. I'm sure there will be. Lamar says, I can see Warner and Huff getting a pick. They're due. I said that last night that I think Hufanga is going to make a big play. He's due for something. I feel like he'll get a pick. 100%. I think that he will have a pick. Talanoa Hufanga. He definitely is due. So. Ramon says people are sleeping on Kinlaw. He's been doing good. His game's not going to show up in a stat sheet on the box score. We know that. He's a run stuffer. And to me, just for Javon Kinlaw being healthy is enough. It's icing on the cake. But he's playing pretty solid out there. It's not like he's playing horrible. He's getting in there. He's getting, he's stuffing the run. He's taking pressure off other people. Just seeing him healthy is great to see. That's a great sight. It's a sight for sore eyes, like they say. So he's out there. He's healthy. He's developing. And people got to remember, Javon Kinlaw has been injured a lot, so he hasn't played a lot of football. He's still developing. He's still like a developing young player, like a raw player. So give him some time. But the fact that he's out there is it's good to see. He's been playing pretty solid, overall. So, Wells, am I traveling to Philly? Maybe. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. We'll see what's up. Maybe we won't play Philly. If it's in Levi Stadium. Oh, can you imagine? Shane says McGlinchey and Demo both played great. Yeah, they stepped up. McGlinchey had a good game last week. He needs to continue it because if he doesn't, Micah Parsons can have a big game. So at the end of the day, Parsons, McGlinchey is going to be one of the key matchups. There's going to be a lot of key matchups. You got CeeDee Lamb against the secondary of the 49ers, Mooney Ward, or maybe Diablo, whoever they're going to slot him up against. You got Parsons and McGlinchey. That's a big matchup. Whoever's matching up on Nick Bosa, he goes on both sides of the line. Nick Bosa is going to be a problem for them to deal with. If they can get to Dak, it's going to be dangerous. And people forget that Christian McCaffrey was not on the roster last year with the Niners, and the 49ers beat him. So that's telling you, man, Christian McCaffrey's the X factor as it is. And Deebo Samuel, we saw him return last week, and he went crazy. And Deebo's about to go crazy again this week. You remember what he did last year against Dallas? Give me the ball, Kyle. Put the ball in the box, and he did it. So just be careful, Dallas. You got Deebo coming at your neck, baby. Ooh, Beast Mode says Nick Bosa pick 6. Could you imagine? Could you imagine how crazy that would be? Oh my God. Let's see. Amateur Draft Scout says, goodness gracious, the 49ers seriously have to go through the NFC East for a chance to win the Super Bowl. Yeah, it's crazy. I tweeted that out. I said yesterday, the 49ers versus the NFC East. 49ers versus the NFC East. Crazy to me. That's crazy to me. And NFC East, all of them, that's the only teams left in the playoffs. It's all the teams, Giants, Cowboys, and the Eagles. And the 49ers have to take out, the next 2 games have to be against the AFC East. So in order to get to the Super Bowl, that's what they got to do. But we're going to take one. We're going to win it. We're going to show everybody NFC West is the best. So Skip's a crackhead. He really is. That's a good question. Dalton Schultz. Yeah, he's been really good this season. That's another guy that the 49ers have to account for. Yeah, definitely. Dalton Schultz, forgot about the guy. But the 49ers linebacking crew, top of the world. Fred Warner, Dre Greenlaw, they'll be ready for that. Talanoa Hufanga, Tashawn Gibson, the safeties, they'll be ready to check Dalton, Big D. This is a good, I like this comment from my boy Legendary. He says, I like how people forget that the Cowboys beat an 8-9 terrified Brady team, making them out to look like world beaters. They're being set up for failure big time. Yeah, that's what I said at the top of the hour, that people forget that the 49ers also played Tampa Bay and just dog walked them. They whooped them up. They whooped up on Tampa Bay. They had them shut out at halftime. They were kicking their teeth in. The Buccaneers were 8-9. They were not a good team. They almost did not make the playoffs. Carolina Panthers almost made the playoffs in their spot. Carolina Panthers probably would have played better than Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's secondary was bad. Their defensive line was not good, other than Vita Vea, who was coming back off your injury. O-line was shambles. The receivers couldn't catch. Tom Brady was probably done. He's probably done in Tampa Bay. He's probably sitting there going, why did I come back for this? His team is terrible. Brady did nothing wrong. He's still good. He's still got, he put up big stats this year. His team is terrible. 8-9 team, they're terrible. It's not Brady. Cold Blooded says, I'll say it on this channel too. Jennings is going to have his best game of his career Sunday. Gold Blooded, you're the second person to say that tonight, that Jennings is going to have a big game on Sunday. So we'll see. I think people are getting hyped up on Jennings coming up, because that could be true, because everybody's talking about Debo. Everybody's talking about Ayuk and Kittle, obviously, as they should. They're really good. Are we forgetting about Jennings? Underrated? Kyle Shanahan has a lot of tricks up his sleeves. So you could absolutely be right. You could absolutely be right, Cold-Blooded. So we'll see what happens. I like this. MT says, the 49ers need to play Drake Jackson because he's athletic enough to chase down Dak if he runs. That's a good comment, actually. I like this. I like the fact of starting Drake this week, because he is a rookie that has some, he's a good edge rusher, right? He can chase people down. He's very athletic for his size. They need people like that, I think, to contain Dak, because he is mobile. Obviously, he's not as mobile as he was before the injury, but he's still a mobile quarterback. Now, they are a run team. They're not a run-first team, I don't feel like. They got Pollard, they got Zeke, but I feel like the Niners' D-line, as it is right now, their interior, Armstead, Kinlaw, Givens, McGill, I think they're good enough with those guys in the middle. Kerry Hyder can play. Omenihu can play inside-outside. I think they have enough people on the interior line that can stop their run game, Pollard and Zeke Elliott. So I would like them to I would like them to activate Drake and let him play. Get him some experience in the playoffs. I think you're right. I think it would be wise to play him this weekend. But we'll see. We'll see. Do the Cowboys have injuries? They do. Let me look it up specifically. We'll see their actual injury list. And tomorrow, the teams come back to practice. So we'll see. We'll get like the injury updates. We'll know a little bit more. Let's see. Trying to think of who's injured. Oh, Jason Peters. He was dealing with the hip injury, their offensive tackle. They got some offensive injuries. They got a couple cornerbacks that have been dealing with some injuries. So we'll see tomorrow who's on the injury report, because players come back to practice. So, we'll take a look at that tomorrow when we get the practice reports. So. Brandy says Dallas has beaten really good teams. Don't sleep. I don't think anybody's sleeping on Dallas, because they also played bad against really bad teams. You got to remember that. They've been a little inconsistent, and it's Dallas, and it's Dak Prescott. And it's Dak Prescott who leads the NFL in interceptions. And you got to remember, at the beginning of the season, Dak was hurt, right? Dak was hurt. Dak wasn't the quarterback for some of those games. They had Cooper Rush. I'm not saying Cooper Rush better Dak, but you got to remember, that was a little different story, right? Let's take a look at the Dallas Cowboys season, okay? September 11th, they played the Buccaneers and lost 19-3. They beat the Bengals early in the season. It's a good game. They beat the Giants, beat the Commanders. They beat the Rams. Rams are terrible. They lost to the Eagles. They beat the Lions. Lions at that point of the season were not that great. They beat the Bears 49-29. Bears are terrible. They lost to the Packers. And this is right before the Packers started to get a little hot. So they lost the Packers. They crushed the Vikings. The Vikings are terrible. They did beat the Giants again. They beat the Colts. They beat the Texans. They lost to the Jaguars. They lost to the Eagles. They beat the Titans. They got beat by the Commanders to finish out the season. So I don't know. I don't really think they beat some good teams. I'm looking at the schedule right now. I'm gonna be honest with you. They had injuries to Dak Prescott. They lost to the Buccaneers. They beat the Bengals. Okay, that's a good win. I just don't see them really having a lot of good wins. They lost to the Packers. The Vikings was probably their best win, a 40-3 over the Vikings, but the Vikings are terrible. The Vikings are terrible. I'm looking at their schedule right now. They're not. No, they didn't beat anybody. They lost the Jaguars. They barely beat the Texans. They beat the Eagles, right? But the Eagles, I think, at that, that might be their best win is beating the Eagles. I don't know. And I think the Eagles didn't have Jalen Hurts. They played, Gardner Minshew. Gardner Minshew put up 34 points. Gardner Minshew. They beat the Eagles with Gardner Minshew. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. Cowboys beat the Eagles with Gardner Minshew. And that's it. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. Cooper Rush was their starter for many of those games that they won in the beginning of the season. Not Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott led the NFL in interceptions, and he missed 6 games. Yeah. 49ers played the Chiefs. We played the Chargers. We played the Dolphins, who everybody was joking about. We played Tampa Bay. We played some good teams, man. Play the games that are on your schedule. That's it. Let's take a look. Let's take a look back at the 49ers schedule, right? We lost the fucking Bears. Beat the Seahawks. Lost to the Broncos. Let's not talk about that game. Beat the Rams. Beat the Panthers. Lost to the Falcons. Lost to the Chiefs. Everybody thought the season was over. And then we beat the Rams. We beat the Chargers. We beat the Cardinals. We beat the Saints. We beat the Dolphins. We beat the Buccaneers. We beat the Seahawks. We beat the Commanders. Commanders beat the Cowboys. We beat the Raiders. And we beat the Cardinals. And we beat the Seahawks. So 11 in a row. Sad Niner fan says Minshew put up 30 plus on that defense. 34 points to be exact. I mean, you can make the schedule. You can make the case that both teams probably didn't play the greatest schedule in the world, but this is the difference. The 49ers had Brock Purdy, a rookie quarterback, the last pick of the draft, as their starter to end the season. And they had to play Miami. They had to play Tampa Bay. You know, the pressure leading up to the Tampa, like this is what I got to get off my system. Because, yes, I know Tampa Bay was not good this season. But the pressure of Brock Purdy all week leading up to that Tampa Bay game, every single day I woke up, I looked online, social media, Twitter, and it was like, oh, can Brock Purdy beat Tom Brady? Can Brock Purdy be the first guy? Can Brock Purdy, can he beat Tom Brady? Nobody's done it. The pressure had to be crazy for him. Just have to be crazy for Brock Purdy. And he goes out there and he does what no quarterback has ever done. Obviously, it's a team sport, but no quarterback has ever beat Tom Brady in their first career start against him. He did it. Nobody else. Brock Purdy did that. Brock Purdy did that. The pressure was crazy. Miami. Everybody picked Miami to go, oh, they're going to beat the Niners. Mike McDaniel's better. Oh my God. No, the 49ers stifled them. Brock Purdy comes in. I watched that live, and I was like, what is going on? This guy is amazing. And they won. And he played some big games, man. They played some tough games for Brock, man. For him to go into Seattle, and slay the Seahawks, that's crazy. Alberta says, you just got to put pressure on Dak with the rushers, the fold. That's it. Pressure Dak. That's the key. That is the key. Get pressure on Dak. Randy says, not taking anything away from Brock. Brady had a lot of first bad stays this year. Brady's team was a shell of themselves, but it's still Brady. That's a lot of pressure. Do I think that Ryan says, do I think that McDaniel's still hitting the vape? The 49 amateur draft guess of the 49ers played the Dolphins when they were rolling. They were like, everybody expected them. They were like the best team in the league at that point. Do I think McDaniel's still hitting the vape? He 100%. That was funny, bro. Hit the vape mid-game. Boy was stressed. He said like this. He had the little vape in his pen, and then he puts the sheet, and that boy vaped mid game, and then they fell apart at the end of the game. That was the funniest thing I've seen all season. Oh, Drew says, I really think McDaniel was hitting this dizzy. He seems high all the time. He really does. He seems so high all the time. Like he kind of, you see him in his press conference and he's just like glazed over. He's funny. He's got that chill vibe, but he does look like he's high sometimes. I'm not going to judge. Hey, smoke it up, baby. Do your thing. Oh my God. That stress is from losing to the Niners. We broke them, man. Who's going to line up against Parsons? Is just on. I think McGlinchey, man. I think that's the key matchup we said. Yeah. All we got to do is keep pressure on Dak when we win by 14. Let's do it, baby. Let's do it. Pressure and Dak. That's the key. Niners are better bringing something. No, 100%. And you made some good points, Randy. 100%. You made some good points. That's what we're here for. Nobody's no hate, no disrespect. We all got our different perspectives on it. But I still feel that the Cowboys. I don't know if the Cowboys really had a great win this season. Maybe Vikings. They beat them 43, but the Vikings, they are who they thought we were. They are. And the Eagles win. You got to remember, the Eagles win. They had Minshew at quarterbacks. It's a different story. But we'll see. Again, it's going to be a dogfight on Sunday, man. I'm hyped. I'm excited. This is a game. This is the rivalry, the historical rivalry, man. And Niners, Cowboy fans, if you've been growing up with this team, 49ers, you know this is a huge rivalry, man. And if you're a Cowboys fan, you know this is a huge rivalry. But we'll see. Stay humble. Randy says the Cowboys are definitely inconsistent, 100%. They're definitely inconsistent. That's a good way to put it, is the Cowboys are very inconsistent. We lost to the Chiefs. Chiefs match up against us. We had some injuries. I don't want to blame it on injuries, but our team was depleted at that point. Debo got hurt in that game. CMC, that was his first game. He really didn't have the speed of the offense yet. Bosa was coming off a groin. Travis Ward was coming off a groin. No Armstead, no Kinlaw. We were kind of banged up. But again, no excuses. But yeah, the Chiefs game was that was a frustrating game. If we play them again, let's hope it's a different outcome. Because so far, the Chiefs have had our number, and I hate it. I hate it. ZP says, if we lose, Brady or Rodgers coming this offseason? I don't think so, but I think there's definitely going to be a lot of rumors. I think they'll push it. I'm sure Brady or Rodgers will try to make it happen. I'm sure they'll reach out. I'm sure they'll contact this front office. Kyle Shanahan, maybe they are already. I'm sure they'll reach out and try, and they can pitch their. I mean, this is if you're Brady, if you're Rodgers, I can be the mentor to your young guys. I could be the mentor. Show them what it takes. I could be the mentor. You guys, like, if they lose, all right, in the next weeks or so, they can say, hey, you fell short. Let me show them what it takes. Especially Tom. He can say, hey, let me finish out the way I want to finish out. Give me one more year. Let me win the championship. Let me retire. I don't think Tom Brady wants to retire the way he lost last night. Are you kidding me? He doesn't want to go out like that. He's got a lot to process. So last thing we'll talk about Tom Brady. I mean, I feel bad for the guy. He was on a garbage team. Todd Bowles is horrible. That's not the way Tom Brady wanted to go out. Team sold on him. I think he should have retired the year he won a Super Bowl with Tampa Bay, just right off in the sunset. That was the perfect way. F you to the league. Everybody wrote him off. He didn't write back, right? Type of vibe. And they won a Super Bowl without Bill Belichick, and he proved everybody wrong. I think that would have been the perfect time. But it just too much for him. He wasn't ready. He's got the itch, man. He's got that fever for the game, and he couldn't do it, man. He just couldn't walk away. And now I think he doesn't want to retire like that, man. But I don't know. He does have a lot of options. He knows when he retires, he's going to the broadcast booth. He's already said it. He's already got a contract set up for him. The moment he retires, he's going to be an announcer in one of these, I don't remember, Fox or whatever, Amazon, I don't know. But he's going to be an announcer, an analyst. So he's already got that set up. But I don't think he's ready, man. If I'm him, if he's got to talk every day and analyze games and stuff, they're going to ask. He's in his mind. He's going to be sitting there watching these games every weekend, and he's going to be like, "Fuck, I should have went out a different way." Fuck, he wants to go out on top, man. That's Tom Brady. So Drew says he already lost his family. Might as well keep playing till his body gives it. He lost his wife. but she cheated on him, boy. Unfortunate for Tom. He's a great player, man. He's the best of all time. But to see him go out like that, it kind of sucks. But I'm sure he's gonna, process a lot. He's got a lot to think about. You could just tell yesterday at his press conference, he was just like, he's done, man. He's got a lot to think about. See what happens. It's gonna be interesting. This offseason gonna be interesting, not just for the 49ers, but the whole NFL. He didn't lose his whole family. You're right. He lost his wife. He's doing better without her. I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't like Giselle. City Boy's up. Tom Brady's doing fine without her. But yeah, I mean, that's stressful for him. It's a stressful situation, I'm sure. Ryan says, I'm going to say it right now. Brady ain't winning another Super Bowl. I don't know. It looks bleak unless he goes to a team like the Knights. Like, he has to get into the right position because he's not getting any younger. He can't. I don't know. It's hard for me to see him carrying a team, anymore. I don't know. Maybe he won't. Beast mode. Brady kissing his parents on. I hate to laugh at this comment, but it's funny because he kisses his parents on the lips and he kisses his kids on the lips. So he learned it from his he got it from his mama. He got that from it. He kissed his dad straight on the lips. I was like, come on, bro. Come on, Tom. I ain't even talking about that. If I saw Montana playing, I wouldn't be calling Brady the GOAT. No, 100%. I've sat there and called Montana the GOAT for years and years. But I respect Brady, man. I mean, the records he's done, he's put it all up. Montana was undefeated in the Super Bowl. He's phenomenal. No interceptions in the Super Bowl. Like, the guy was flat out king. If he would have played in this era, if he would have played a little longer, if he didn't get those injuries at the end of his career, if he would have played in this era, I mean, Joe Montana would be out. He would probably pass all of Brady's achievements. But Brady has the stats. He's got the championships. I'm gonna respect him for that. But yeah, 100%. Joe Montana was the GOAT, man, the original GOAT. The lips on the dad, yo, hey yo. I wonder if Brady's gonna be at Sunday's game since he went to the catch game as a kid. Maybe he should. Bro. Brady's gonna be in the stands because he's gonna try to gas up Kyle. Be like, yo, get me on the team, get me on the team, Kyle, get me on the team. I'm telling you, I feel like Brady's gonna pressure a few the teams he wants to go to. Whatever. Let's just throw out a few teams. Let's pretend the 49ers. Let's pretend the Raiders, and let's pretend the Miami. Let's just say theoretically those are the teams he wants to go through. Right? This is nothing true, nothing real. These are teams we're just making up. He's gonna be pressing every single. He's gonna tell them, "I want to be your guy. I want to be your guy." He's gonna tell them to see if they cave because he wants to go out with a perfect opportunity with a good team to give him a championship. Right? I think that's what he's gonna do this offseason. If no team says, "Come my way," he'll hang it up and he'll go into the broadcast booth. But he's gonna press a lot of teams. He wants one more chance, man. One more chance. So you can't see him sitting there as a fan. Why not? Why not? Is it Tom Brady? Why can't? Can you imagine if Tom Brady's at the game cheering on Brock Purdy? I want to see Brock. I want to see Tom Brady come over and give Brock a high five, pump him up, and say, "Brock, take out Dak, end him for me, take him out for me." I want to see Tom Brady say, "Yo, my boy, take out these Cowboys, finish my job for me, do it. Here's the torch, pass the torch." I want to see Tom Brady pass that torch to Brock Purdy this Sunday. Be live at Levi's and give him the magic juju. Go take out the Cowboys. Wouldn't that be dope? That would be dope. I would be pretty cool to see him at the game. Tom going to be wearing the Purdy jersey. That's it, baby. Well, I want to see Tom 13 jersey and bring it. I want to see Dan Marino at the game supporting Brock Purdy. Could you imagine Dan Marino at the game and supporting Brock Purdy? Because we know Brock Purdy's the huge Marino fan. His dad was a Dolphins fan growing up and all the stories. That would be cool to see Dan Marino cheering on Brock Purdy. It ain't going to happen, though. Alejandro says Brady wants to retire as a Niner. I'm telling you, he's going to do everything he can to try to pressure Kyle to sign him. I really do. I really think so. There's going to be a lot of rumors. There's going to be a lot of crap this offseason. Oh, I could be your mentor. I could be your mentor. I could be your mentor. Blah, blah. He's going to gas it up. That's my prediction. We're gonna see a lot of rumor posts. Oh, Tom Brady getting closer to the 9. It's gonna be a rumor. We'll see whether it happens or not. We'll see. That's all I'm saying. They're gonna give Brady a 1-day contract. Can you? They might. Can you imagine? The 49ers have signed Tom Brady to a 1-day contract. He will officially retire as a 49er. That's what he wants to. That would be crazy. That would be crazy. That would absolutely be bonkers if they did that. It's not gonna happen. Brock understudy under Brady for a year. It's not crazy. I know people are probably gonna sit here and watch this and go, this guy's so dumb. It's not crazy to think. I'm telling you, I think Brady would pressure them all off season. He's gonna make them try to cave. But we'll see. I mean, Brock wins the Super Bowl. They're gonna be like, yo, bro, we got the next Brady. We don't need you. We got this guy. But we'll see. It's gonna be a fun off season either way. My boy Drew says, I think Ayuk is gonna show everyone why the Niners were okay with getting him in Kinlaw instead of CeeDee Lamb. I think so too. I think I think Ayuk is primed for a big game. I know CMC is gonna go crazy, but to me, Ayuk is gonna have the MVP performance on Sunday. I think he's gonna have a monster game. We saw what he did last year against Trayvon Diggs. Put him on the skates. Oh, and he just routed him up. He's gonna do it again. I'm gonna do it again. Gonna do it again. Drew says Ayuk will embarrass Diggs. He is. Gonna cook him. He's gonna sit before the game. Ayuk's gonna walk up to Trayvon and say, "Here you go." He's gonna hand him something, and he's gonna, what are these? He's gonna open the box. It's a pair of roller skates, and he says, "Hey, you're gonna be skating all day, baby. Get ready for it because Ayuk is going to." I mean, he put him in a blender last year. Do you remember how much he routed him? And there were so many times where we remember the sideline pass, the one where he like whips him out and he just cooks him, hits the sideline, and Jimmy overthrows him. And I was like, oh God, if he hits him, that's a touchdown on that left sideline. Remember that play where he just routed him so bad? And I was like, oh my God, wide open. And he's like sitting there like this. He's trying to make the catch. Over his head. If he hits him, that's tutty. That play killed me. But hey, we won the game. Anyways, that was good stuff. That was definitely a good game last year. We got to bring this dub. But yeah, a couple final things again to wrap it up today. Ran Carthon is now the GM of the Tennessee Titans. Shout out to Ron. Great. Congrats to him. Worked his way up, and now he's a GM. He was a executive of player personnel development. Shout out to that man. 49ers get 2 draft picks for it, compensatory picks, one this year, one next year. They have 11 right now. If D'Amico Ryans gets hired, they get more compensatory picks. So everybody that sat here and clowned on the 49ers when they traded for CMC looks like a bozo to me. That's all I'm going to say. Everybody that clowned the 49ers for getting CMC looks like the clown themselves. They need to put makeup. They need to look in themselves in the mirror with clown ass makeup because, hey, 49ers knew what they were doing. They got a bunch of compensatory picks. They really traded a second-round pick for him, and CMC has been the missing puzzle piece. Fucking John Lynch, Executive of the Year. What's up, SG Sports Talk? Bang, bang, not a gang. Anybody that doubted that trade is a bozo. Go get him a red nose, get him a clown wig, and get him white face paint to make their face look like a bozo the clown. Because if they doubted that trade, they are bozo the clown to me. They are bozo the clown to me, baby. Because that draft or that trade was absolutely money. John Lynch, shout out to you, my guy. Shout out to you, my guy, John Lynch. I love you, Executive of the Year. I love you, Faithful. Have a good rest of your day. Bang, bang. Not again.